So I know I've talked about social media in the past a lot. Today's kind of going to be essentially another addition to that. It's more so about the effects social media had on me while I had it. And it's not really like a means of me trying to encourage you to delete all your social media, but I'm going to give you a few pieces on why it's not helping you as a person and helping you grow and get towards new opportunities, essentially. I guess the biggest thing with social media was that it kind of felt as if it were like a shield in a way. And maybe I talked about this, maybe I've already said this before, but I'm gonna reinstate it for this video again. Essentially, social media for me felt like a shield in order to meet new people. And it kind of prevented me from branching out and allowing myself to meet more new people in person. This is the issue with social media, right? Especially like Snapchat, for example. You have easy access to meet so many new people at the simple click of a button. And you can be convinced that this person, whoever you're talking to that you've just added, is somebody completely different from who they actually are. And when the time comes for you to meet them in person, you see that they're not different, or that they are different, sorry, than who you thought they were. And this was something that I felt like happened a lot with me. I'd get these false perceptions of people before even meeting them. I'd think, oh, okay, this is how this person is. And then I get in person with these people, and they're not who I thought they were, and I kind of just shut down right then and there without giving them an actual chance to really get a grasp for who they are. And partially that's just me shutting down in the moment, and that's on me, and something that I needed to work on at the time while I still had social media. But it was kind of me just kind of closing the door on those people when I saw that they weren't who they really are. So that's also why I'm going to enhance and encourage you all to, instead of trying to meet people solely off of social media and whatnot, to go out there and meet people face to face. Because at the end of the day, odds are those people you meet face to face are going to be people that stick with you for a long time. Those are the people that, at least in my experience, will stick around the longest. Because when you go out and meet people face to face, in that moment when you're meeting them, you really get a feel for who they are. You essentially give that other person, and that other person gives you a taste of who they are. It's like a sample, essentially. You know, like, for example, when you go to, like, I don't know, a cologne store or something like that, you know, like, and you go in and you're trying to test out all the new sprays just to see what you like and what you don't like. And in that moment, that first spray on your skin is the first taste that you're getting of that cologne, or in that case, well, in this case, sorry, that person that you're meeting. You know, you're gonna be able to really tell in that moment, for the most part, if this is somebody you'd have interest in seeing again. And I mean, this doesn't have to just apply to relationships and whatnot, but this can apply to friendships. Just in general, like, in person is just a million times better than social media and dating apps will ever be. Don't even get me started on dating apps now. Dating apps are a million times worse. Oh, lordy. So I guess I'm gonna, in this little section, split this video into how dating apps are bad too. And dating apps are, I'd say, worse because it's really easy to not make your intentions clear over a dating app. It's really easy to, again, with false perceptions, you can put out there that you're looking for something long-term, and then when you're in person with somebody you've matched with, you can completely flip it on them and be like, oh, I'm only looking for something short term. And I can dive a lot deeper into that, but that's kind of the gist of it right there. It's that people are very unclear with their intentions when it comes to dating apps. And some people also don't understand those intentions either. For example, like, let's say you get on Tinder and you specifically put out there that you're looking for friends, in this case, which I have seen people put on as their intentions before. And then some people in this case won't get an understanding for that. And they'll be like, oh, when they say friends, they mean like friends, if you know what I'm trying to say. And they'll kind of push the boundaries and still go for it anyways when their intentions are right there in their face. So when they end up talking to this person and texting them or whatever, they are again reinforced with the reality that this person is not looking for anything serious and that they're only looking for friends, and they let themselves down, and so on and so on. You know, it's just like with in-person, you can really, for the most part, more so than you would be able to as compared to online, get a feel for what the other person has and wants in their life, essentially. Jumping back again to social media, I know I'm kind of all over the place with this, and I understand that it was going to be that way from the start, but another thing that's bad about social media, at least, and it's something that I'm still recovering from really, is the decrease in my attention span. And this sounds really like surface level when it comes to the bad parts about social media. But honestly, this is something that has affected me so much more than I even feel like I realize. And it's affected me more so than I used to realize. Like, I feel like I have more of an understanding of it now compared to how I did maybe a year ago. And this especially comes at a standpoint when we're talking about school. In school, with social media existing while I'm trying to do things like homework and whatnot, like, I never felt like I was able to lock into my full potential. I was never able to, essentially, how do I phrase this? I never felt like, I guess, that I was able to give my 100% best when it came to any sort of schoolwork and having social media. So in a way, social media for me when it came to schoolwork was debilitating. You know, I really couldn't focus. Like, I'd go to class and I just like would space out some days, and I wouldn't even be able to like lock in for an hour for a class. Some days I would. Some days I'd have no problem locking in, but others I'd have the hardest time in the world trying to lock into a class. And I would just be in my head thinking about other things that weren't important and not focusing on the task at hand and focusing on the thing that actually matters here. And on top of that, not only just in school, but with other people as well. And I feel like that's really affected my relationships with other people, and especially when it's come to dating and whatnot. I feel like social media has had such a big impact on that, because it's taken my attention span away so much to the point where sometimes when I was on dates with other people, I'd go quiet because my brain would go blank from the fact that I was in my head the whole time, thinking about my own thoughts rather than being present in the conversation with whoever I was with. So that probably gave that other person the intention that I was quiet and that I was just a boring person and not that exciting. And I mean, technically speaking, yeah, I was a boring person because I was in my head. I was not actually present with this person. And I would be overthinking every situation. Like, whenever that person would ask me something, I'd have to have them repeat the question for me. Or if I was, I don't know, if we were going somewhere, I'd be overthinking shit. And it was all the nitpicky stuff that didn't matter that I was just, like, not paying attention to. And, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not really wording some of this correctly, but essentially, when I was with that person, I wasn't really with that person. I was up in here, and even did this with a lot of my friends, and I feel like if you are this way with your friends and your family, you're obviously going to be this way with dating. Like, you can't expect yourself to be one way with your friends and family and then go on a date with this cute girl and expect to act differently and be like somebody else. In order to go on dates and to want other girls to be able to want to go on more dates with you, you gotta be in the conversation. You gotta be present with them. You gotta give them your energy. You gotta give 100% of your energy and really show them who you are. Because if you're up in here, that's not happening. And I just feel like with jumping back again to social media, with how much I used to scroll on like Instagram and whatnot, and the amount of time I'd spend on my phone, it's just like all that attention span from all those short videos and those pictures and everything I was looking through was just rotting my brain essentially. It didn't have to be like, you know, the real like brain rot, like horrid ass memes and whatnot that were on Instagram. Because I mean, sure, that was some of the effect right there, but really it was just the amount of scrolling I do. I mean, my average screen time per day would be like 6 hours, 5 hours or so, something like that. And I mean, really, that's not even that bad. But like, compare it to now where my screen time is a little over an hour a day. Like, I think the lowest I've gotten my screen time to was like an hour and 15 minutes a day. And that was like a week or two ago. And I've ever since been in that same little realm, which honestly has improved my quality of life a lot and has allowed me to focus more on what's around me essentially and really be able to just, I don't know, have better conversations with people as well. I think now I'm roughly about 3 months off of social media. I am a quarter of a year off of all my social media, and it has honestly improved my quality of life. It really has made a huge difference. And it's also helped me really pay attention to my own life and not focus on the lives of others. Because the lives of others, at the end of the day, don't matter, really. If you aren't paying attention to your own life and you aren't focusing on what's in here and what's up here and doing other things to improve your day-to-day life instead of just sitting down and scrolling all day, then what are you doing with yourself, really? If you're scrolling hours a day and your screen time is like 8 to 9 hours, I'm not shaming you for it. I'm not saying you're a terrible person, because you're not. You're not a terrible person. I mean, most people have screen time that's well over 5 to 6 hours, like mine used to be. And like, I'm not saying you have to stop that. But I will tell you this. If you can reduce your screen time any amount, I promise you, it can be like 2-3 hours a day that you decrease it by. You can go from like 9 hours to like 6 to 7 hours. It doesn't have to be that crazy of a jump, but I promise you, the more and more you decrease it, the better quality your life will go. The higher quality life you will live, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at there. You don't have to completely go cold turkey like I have, essentially. You don't have to cut so much time off in such a short span of like a week or so. You know what I mean? Like, it really is up to you on all that. So yeah, the real change comes from within, and that change is whether you decide on whether to change or not. And I'm not saying you have to change, but I will say that a change with your screen time and decreasing it will help you so much. Honestly, it really has made a difference in my life, and I can guarantee you that it will for you too. So yeah, that's all I have for today. Stay blessed.